for talking y'all to me, and I am here live in Fort Worth, Texas with Linda Wilson. She is the president and founder of the Texas Country Music Association. Linda, I am so excited to talk to you about all things Texas country music.
Well, I'm excited too.
Take us back. Like, where did this all begin? You're the founder, you're the president. Where did the Texas Country Music Association begin?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it short. Back in the late 80s, I had a friend that had a band, and his name is Bubba Cox, and he's still out there playing music today. And so we booked Bubba, and I had an insurance company at the time, but we started booking agencies, started booking bands around the Houston metropolitan area. And one day, Doug Supernall walked into our office and said, "I need a manager." So we started working with Doug Supernall and did everything for him, radio promotion, setting up tours, managing him, doing his fan club, booking, everything. And that's where it kind of all started. And back then, I always had the concept of having an organization, because there's so many people playing music out there that you don't get to hear on the radio. And back then it was worse because they only had mainstream radio. They didn't have a lot of radio stations that are dedicated to red dirt or Texas country. And so, finally in 2011, actually late 2010, I was able to secure the name and start the organization. And then it still took us 7 years of building, because we didn't have our first award show until 2017. And we did that in the city of Carthage, where I'm from, Carthage, Texas. And it went over so well there. We had 1,100 people in a town of 6,600 people that showed up. So we started looking for another place. And we went to the Will Rogers Auditorium in Fort Worth, Cowtown. You got to go back to Cowtown if you're Texas country. And then, before then, about 6 months before the award show, the head honcho up at Stockyards Heritage called me out of the blue, and I didn't know who he was. I thought he was some weirdo or flake, and but it was the real deal. And they said, "We want to sponsor multi-year." The next year we came to Stockyards, came to Billy Bob's, and it's just really kept growing ever since.
Now it's hosted here in Fort Worth, and the Texas Country Music Awards and the entire Texas Country Music Association is hosting an incredible event right here at the Stockyards. November 9th is the award show, but there's also a lot of other events going on. So tell us a little bit more about that weekend and what fans can expect.
Okay, well, we have, ever since we came to the Stockyards in 2019, we have Texas Country Music Weekend in the Stockyards, which is put on by Texas Country Music Association and Stockyards Heritage Development and all of their entities, which includes Hotel Drover, Mule Alley, which is what we're on, Stockyards Station, the Hyatt, Stockyards Hotel, Stockyards Exchange Building is down here. And Friday, November 7th is the first day this year. It's Friday, November 7th, 8th, and 9th. On Friday, we have acoustic performances, which is called Texas Country Showcase, and where we showcase our TCMA members. Okay. And then we have a free concert that night with Monty Dawson Band. And then the next day, we have the Texas Country Music Showdown, which is a battle of the bands type event that Stockyards helps us put on. They pay for the prize money. They select the judges and all, because it wouldn't be right, for me to be a judge.
That's true.
How would
you might be a little biased.
And they're all TCMA members, so how would I judge that? So they have to, they handle all of that for us. And they put up a big stage and a big tent. It is November 9th, so you don't ever know if it's going to be raining or cold. But God's blessed us with great weather every single year so far. So we pray about that every year.
Yes, amen.
And then then we have a free concert with Grant Gilbert Saturday night, November the 8th.
Wow.
On Sunday morning, Sunday at noon, we have Christian Country Sunday in the Stockyards, which we've got 6 people playing that event. Curtis Grimes is leading it off. And then by 2 o'clock, the doors open at Billy Bob's. And it's on from there.
It's on. I can't wait to be on the red carpet there too, interviewing some of the artists. And I know there's a few other red carpet hosts that do a spectacular
Yeah.
job for you every single year. But I want to go back to where you were talking about memberships. You can become a member of the Texas Country Music Association. How can people become a member?
Well, yes, we have memberships for everybody, even fans. We got a lot of fans that are members because they love what we do,
Yes.
and they love how we support the industry. And we've got all kinds of members. They're not just artists or songwriters or musicians, but venues, radio stations, record producers. You can think of anybody that touches our industry, and that's who our membership is. And we do our best to try to just promote the industry as a whole, you know, and then put on things like the awards show and the industry awards, which is usually in July, which honors the people that work behind the scenes. And I hate that phrase, work behind the scenes, but they work alongside the artists.
Yeah.
You know,
And those are the people who make it happen,
the
though,
booking
too.
agents,
Yeah.
the radio promoters, the recording studios, the producers, you know, and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are the people who make the artists also what they are, including the fans. Now, this weekend's going to be spectacular. But I also am super curious to ask you, because when a lot of times you say country music, people think Nashville, Tennessee, right? Like that's what they think of. But I want to bring this to Texas. Like, what makes Texas country so much more unique than anything else in the world?
I think, honestly, just because I'm a Texan, I'm from Texas, and I know all these people, it's that our sense of unity
Yeah.
is just very, very strong. I mean, evidence of that is the flooding in the hill country, you know, and the whole entire industry came together to raise money, and they're still raising money, you know, for those people, that families that lost loved ones or that lost their homes or property or whatever, you know. It's just all very surreal,
Yeah.
and it's very inspiring to see a group of people that come together like this Texas country music industry.
Yeah.
And believe me, we've got different styles of music in Texas country. We've got Texas country, you know, or / red dirt, but really red dirt's owned by Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Ask Cody Canada about that
Yes.
sometime. And we've got Western swing, we've got Tejano, we've got Americana, we've got outlaw country, and country blues, and Christian country, which is a big part of our show as well. You know, so it's just a little bit of everything.
There's a lot of variety.
There's a lot to it. It's a well-oiled machine, but there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and a lot of moving parts are moving because of you. And I know you're you're the leader of Texas country music, and being the founder and being the president. I just admire you. I mean, how do you balance all of the different responsibilities, and how do you really make Texas country music come alive every single day?
Prayer. I was just a lady with a dream, you
Yeah.
know. I just had an idea one day to put this all together, and God's blessed it, and
Yeah.
He has taken it, and it's given me so many opportunities just to love people and inspire them. And you know, we don't make a ton of money. We spend it all on some of the events that we do, but I get the blessing every day of talking to Texas country music artists.
Yeah.
And people that work for them, and giving them encouragement and inspiration, and sometimes the word, you know. And I don't know, I really can't take credit for it. I couldn't have done it without God's help. That's just the bottom line.
All glory to God.
And I do, you know, almost every time I get up to speak, I do say TCMA is a faith-based organization. We don't push things down people's throat,
Yeah.
but we are faith-based, and we treat people that way, you know.
What is one takeaway that you would like the fans and the people who are even working with the Texas Country Music Association, when you say faith, what is that feeling that you hope they take away from this Texas Country Music Weekend?
Just the continuation of building unity, you know, and with things that have happened recently, you know, and as you know, there's always something going on, you know, some kind of tragedy happening there or there. But you know, our theme for this year is Texas Strong, again, because it was our theme in 2017 when we had Harvey, you know, come through, and just to let people know that they can be part of a big family.
Okay, so we're talking about family, and when the artists come here for a Texas Country Music Weekend, it is just like one big reunion.
That's right. You have so many artists, whether they're nominated or a finalist or performing or not. So many artists and management and radio stations. Everybody shows up, and it's like a big family reunion. Everybody said that from the very beginning. They get to see each other, when they haven't seen each other in a while because they're all playing, or maybe they've never met somebody, another artist, and they're talking about their venues where they're playing at in their local areas, and sharing information, making friends, and it's just, that's my favorite part, really, because I just get to see the unity that's being built and even strengthened, through this event and through the people that are there,
Yeah, and speaking of family, your family is very involved. Your husband, who is here with us today,
Yes.
and then also your children as well. What is that like, having your family involved in such a business like this?
Well, Richard's my person, he holds me up, he encourages me. He cooks dinner,
Make sure you
when
eat.
I'm tired, and he's a hell of a cook, Courtney Ritter is my daughter, and she is our social media manager. She's also a social media influencer. She does all of our graphics. She does a lot of the graphics and things for a lot of the artists, also their EPKs and things like that. Chris, my son, lives here in Decatur, not far from here, and he's got his own company, and so he's not daily involved, but on the award show weekend, they're mine. My son's got Skypine Roofing company in Carthage, Texas, and he stays busy with that. But again, on award show weekend, they're mine, and they show up with all my grandkids, and everybody works, and everybody knows what to do now after 9 years, and it helps pull it together. Another big part of TCMA is Lonnie Dawson. He's one of our vice presidents. He's also an artist. He's playing that Friday night show on the 7th. And he is the producer of the Texas Country Music Awards, along with John Zascata, which we call him Jay-Z, at Billy Bob's. They produce the whole show. Chad Malden is our executive director. He helps year round. He heads up our voting committee. And so, those people are family as well, too. So we have a lot of support and a lot of help, and always people asking, what can we do to help, And I tell them sometimes you might be sorry you asked that question.
Actually, I think you said that to me
I think
during
I
our
did.
first conversation. You're like, be careful.
Yeah.
You never know. But one thing I hear you say, keep saying is family and unity and support. And I already feel that from you, even this being our second conversation. And, there's probably people who are flying in from all over the world to come to Texas Country Music Award weekend.
Yes.
What can somebody, if it's their first time here, what is one thing that they can expect to experience, and where do they start the weekend?
Well, in the Stockyards has everything. This is the #1 destination in the United States. First of all, so we were so very fortunate to hook up with the Stockyards Heritage. But there's so much. There's shopping. There's the rodeo at Cowtown Coliseum. There's the petting zoo. This stuff for people of every age. There's something here in the Stockyards. Plus live music all weekend for 3 days.
I mean, there's no better place.
Yeah.
I love Fort Worth Stockyards.
We had 150,000 people in the Stockyards for Texas Country Music Weekend last year. And I think 142,000 the year before, and we're expecting to exceed that this year.
Okay, hosting an event this size, that is a 3-day weekend full of multiple different events, and then topping it all off with the award show on Sunday night. What is one word you could use to describe the challenges and the feelings that you have internally hosting an event?
Well, I would say in the natural, I would say frantic, but I know that God's got me covered and in control, and I do a lot of praying, and doors just seem to open naturally for whatever we need, and it all comes together. Now this is the 9th year, so we've kind of got it down to an art. We know what to do now, so it is stressful. Yeah. It's very stressful, and we do work on it year round because you have to. You got to raise money to help pay for it, and pay for Billy Bob's, because it's not cheap, renting Billy Bob's out for the entire day. But I can't say enough about their staff and their people there. It's just wonderful. And working with people like the Stockyards, Dina Newell and Ethan Cartwright, they're just wonderful people. Their whole team is amazing, and it's just, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of little pieces, and that's the stage we're at right now, putting all those little final pieces together.
Well, Linda, I cannot wait for Texas Country Music Weekend right here in Fort Worth. You guys, everybody go follow Texas Country Music Association on all social media platforms. Make sure you purchase your tickets for the Texas Country Music Awards November 9th right here in Fort Worth, Texas. Linda, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For your time, and just congratulations on putting on such an incredible event for Texas Country Music. And I know that there are thousands of us who cannot wait for just a spectacular weekend.
It's going to be great. I mean, this is probably, I'm really, really excited about, I'm excited about every year, but I'm especially excited about this year. But next year's our 10th anniversary, so who knows what we'll have for next year.
Yes, absolutely. Well, everybody go follow Texas Country Music Association. Linda, thank you so much. And until next time, talk y'all to me. I'm Tori Kruse, and we'll see you soon.